Good evening, guys. It's working, bringing you a quick update on EOS. Hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. We're looking at EOS to the dollar on the one-day chart, Bitfinex exchange, and EOS is looking fairly good. So far, so good, guys. Yesterday, this is again the daily chart. Yesterday, we had a candle, very bullish engulfing candle. Today, it's creating kind of a spinning top, still looking very bullish for the few hours we have left in today. I was actually very, very impressed. I kind of was looking for a smaller correction than what we are, a greater correction than what we got. What we're looking for, we can see it wicked into this supply zone. It came up to about 895 before it got rejected. Now it's sitting at around 873 thereabouts. We need to take out this high, the top of the supply zone at 945. That's going to be a very, very critical zone. This wick in here, the last one created about 935 or thereabouts. So we're going to be watching for a possible double top there and a rejection. But if we can break above that 935, test that 945 and get above, if we can get north of 945, that's going to be very, very bullish. Why do I say that, guys? Well, if you remember, if we look back in here at our prior high, we can see that price was bouncing back and forth here, deciding which way to go. As soon as it broke down, algos picked this high point of right up in this area. So if we go from swing high to swing low, from this prior high down to this low, we can see that this zone, this 945, where it's peaked in here just a couple times, is right inside the golden pocket between the 618 and the 65. Perfectly inside the golden pocket, guys. Every time it's wicked into it, it's been strongly rejected. So we need to see it get north of this target. If we get north of that 945, guys, then algos are going to start picking targets to the upside. And at that point, as soon as we decisively break above 945, I think it's going to be a very quick rise up into this supply zone between 1030 and 1090. I think more than likely, excuse me, guys. I think more than likely, if we do break up into that zone, it's going to probably stall at about 1030, or excuse me, about 1050, somewhere thereabouts. So again, guys, looking looking so far so good. To the downside, if price does end up breaking down, testing the bottom zone, we've created a very small demand zone here between about 7.60 and 7.95, somewhere thereabouts. If it does come back down, I can see it testing and wicking down to this zone. I don't see it breaking that zone. If, however, it does end up breaking that zone, it's going to be, if it drops below 760, and a decisive drop below 760, you're going to find a very quick drop down to about $6.90, $7 at the highest. But that'll be a very, very quick drop to $7. Possibly 7 might hold because that's a good psychological number, but more than likely we're going to come into at least 690, 660, somewhere in that demand zone down there. I do not expect that zone to break. For right now, though, guys, we're looking up. If we zoom in here, try to look at this from an Elliott perspective. Just zoom this out. We're looking at the hourly. Okay, from an Elliott perspective, I'm counting this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're looking for the top of our 5. What is this in here? I know that's what you're asking. I'm going to get rid of this so you can see a little bit better. I'm not counting this as our 1 because we could see this being our 1, 2. This was the start of our third wave. Yes, it had a very, very, very deep retracement. The bottom of our wave 2 here, remember 1, 2, the bottom of our wave 2 went down to a low of 6.69. This can retrace up to 99.9%. The bottom of this low was 7.71, so it's very close, 99%, still technical. This still counts this as a third wave. So if we're looking at subwaves, excuse me, subwaves, we need 5 waves within this third wave to make it technical. We have that. We have 1 very, very deep 2, 3, 4, and up for the 5th wave. So we do have 5 waves, so that is very technical. We're down for the 4th wave here, and then up for the 5th. So where am I looking at? Where am I targeting for the 5th wave? Ironically enough, that 5th wave targets just above that the top of this supply zone, just above that 945 number that we're wanting to break. So I just pull a fib here for you. If we target a 1-to-1 on our 5th wave, we'd be targeting about 9.60 thereabouts. That's a reasonable target. However, I wouldn't be surprised to see a shortened 5th wave just because the resistance up here is so strong. So we may get rejected there at that 945 again, right inside that golden pocket of that 618. So I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be waiting. I wouldn't play that zone quite yet. If it comes up in here, I would be looking for a possible bounce between 945 and 960. Actually, if it does break above 945, it may just have a very long, elongated, extended 5th all the way up. And at that point, we may be targeting up in here on the 1618. excuse me, guys, which would be about a 1040 target or somewhere thereabouts. But I wouldn't be surprised to have a shortened fifth right here at about 945 or thereabouts. So that's kind of what we're looking at to the upside, guys. All eyes are going to be on that 945. Zooming out here to the daily chart, looking at our indicators, see our stock RSIs reaching oversold area, or excuse me, overbought areas. Still though, can sit up in here in an overbought area for quite some time, has many times in the past. If you look at the past here, EOS is almost infamous for that. If we look at our daily RSI, and just blow it up here, we can see on our daily RSI was creating a bit of a wedge coming from the bottom, descending a descending resistance line, ascending support line. We can see that the RSI is just peeking its head above this ascending support line. So if we don't get a strong rejection here, if we break that, if it does peek its head up, I think we're going to see a very quick rise up to about 945 or somewhere thereabouts. Would be looking for an impulsive wave. If this does end up breaking down, as I said, guys, then we may be coming back down to test the bottom of this demand zone down in here at about $8 or somewhere thereabouts, or it could just be a healthy correction and then come back up to test the 945. If we look at the daily MACD, we can see it's got plenty of room to run, looking very, very bullish, extremely bullish actually. Looking at the 4-hour MACD, moving sideways, still not looking bad. Looking at our moving averages, as I told you guys yesterday, moving averages were squeezed together. Anytime you see that, you expect a breakout. We're looking at the 4-hour. Anytime you see that on the 4-hour or any hour, actually, anytime you see that, you can expect a breakout. It's just the higher it is. If you see it on a daily, you can expect a more breakout. If you see it on the 4-hour, a little less, 1 hour, a little less, and so on and so on. But you can see, sure enough, we have had that breakout since the moving average were squeezed together. We can see price now came back down, was above the 8-day moving average, came back down, tested the 8-day moving averages, got a nice bounce up. That's a very bullish indication. Price still remains above the 8-day EMA. That's very bullish. Looking at the Bollinger Bands, we can see that there is still a little bit of room to rise. We can see that's also a rather bullish setup. We can see on the 21-day EMA still remains above the 55. Blue 8-day EMA remains above the 21. That's a nice bullish setup, so things are looking good in that regard. If we zoom out here to the daily, Bollinger Bands, still see we have a lot of room to rise to get at the top of the Bollinger Bands. That's very bullish. We can see that the 8-day EMA is starting to cross above the 21-day EMA. Also a very, very bullish sign, guys. So these are all good indications. So right now, EOS is looking fairly strong, guys. As I said, if we do end up getting a pullback, I'm looking at this zone down in here at about $8, somewhere thereabouts. As of right now, things are looking rather bullish. I wouldn't be surprised to see it come up here, test possibly this prior high of 935. If that gets rejected, then I think we may come back down, test this prior low here at the bottom of this 1-2. Or excuse me, at the bottom of this 1, 2, 3, bottom of wave 4 here, and then come back up for a retest. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out, guys. As far as any trade setups, if price does end up breaking down, I'll be looking to buy anywhere below $8. I'll be stacking price buys between $8 and $7.75, hoping for a breakup. If price does break above 945, guys, by a decisive break, then I will more than likely end up taking a quick scalp trade, expecting price to rise very quickly up to about 1050 or thereabouts. So these are my quick thoughts on EOS, guys. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please let me know in the comments section below. As always, trade safe. Hope you guys have a wonderful evening. This is Workin, signing out.